there, second graders. So I have my 4 landscape sketches that I did last art class. You can see I outlined my horizon line in the pink to show you where the land or the water meets the sky. I'm ready to begin my final landscape. Now these were realistic landscapes. I drew the landscapes just the way that I would see them if I was out walking in one of these places in real life or if I saw them in a photograph. Today we're focusing on abstract landscapes, meaning I'm going to take one of my ideas and I'm going to abstract that landscape. I'm going to do my own interpretation or my own idea of what that place looks like. I'm almost going to try and give the feeling of that place, not just what it would look like in a photograph. So if you haven't already, take a look at some of the examples that I put onto the activity link and see how abstract landscapes are a little bit different than realistic landscapes. So I am going to try creating an abstract landscape out of this waterfall scene here. So this is the one that I'm going to be creating in abstract style. So I'm going to emphasize, or I'm going to kind of exaggerate, make bigger the water for starters. You can have your final paper either horizontal or vertical. That's portrait or landscape. For my landscape, I'll do landscape style, but you don't have to. And my water, when I think of a waterfall, I think of flowing water, moving quickly, exciting, fast, swirling. So it's good to think of all these different words that all of your parts of your landscape remind you of, because I am going to draw that. I'm going to draw my water swirling. So again, it's not going to look like you would really see it in real life this time. It's abstracted. It might remind you of a waterfall. That's good. We want it to look a little bit like the thing we're trying to show, but we want to create our own idea of what that could look like or what that even feels like being there. So I'm using all these waving lines to show the movement of the water in sort of the shape that a waterfall falls. So there's my abstract waterfall, and then I have these big rocks on the sides of my waterfall. For my abstract version, I'm going to exaggerate or make more intense the shape of these rocks. Some of the rocks are kind of pointed and jaggedy, but for my abstract landscape, they're going to get exaggerated. I'm going to make these really interesting shapes. So someone can still tell that they're probably rocks, but they have a different view on what those rocks are like. It's almost like I'm showing what those rocks really feel like. Pointed, jagged, maybe a little bit rough, a little bit tricky if you were going to climb on them. Today I'm using my pencil. I have the rocks. Finally, I have some trees in my original sketch. Here, some evergreen trees. I'm going to exaggerate the needles on my evergreen trees, and I'm going to exaggerate the shape. I'm going to imagine the trees are blowing in the wind, and they're really coming to life, almost like the trees are dancing. If you've ever been out in the woods or in nature where there are trees and it's been windy out, you might notice how it almost sometimes looks like the trees dance or move or sway in the wind. And that's what I want, that's the effect I want to give here. Once my abstract landscape is laid out with my pencil, I am all finished for today.